Assalamu alaikum dear students. This is Asadullah with the virtual class of financial accounting. So today our topic is the debits and credit rules. But before going to discuss the debit and credit rule, we must know about the debit and credit. That what does it mean by debit and credit? The terms debit and credit, that is derived from the Latin words debere and credere. Debit derived from the Latin words debere and credit derived from the Latin words credere. Debere means to owe. To owe means ownership, or we can say that we have the ownership on such things. So that is called debits. And credit is also derived from the Latin words credere, which means to believe or to entrust. In other words, debit is derived from debitum and credit is derived from creditum, both of Latin words. Debitum represents left side and creditum means or represents right side. So there are different theories about the debit and credit. Another one theory which stated that debit record will be means by owe to something and credit record means that claims. Debit will be denoted by DR words and credit will be denoted by CR words. So in simple way, if someone asks from you that what is debit and what is credit, so debit is to owe and credit is to what? To believe or to entrust, or simply left side and credit is right side. So this was the simple definitions of the debit and credits. Now we move towards the rules of debit and credits. So dear students, as you know that we have 5 chart of accounts. Yeah, we can say that we have 5 kinds of accounts. First one is assets, second one liability, third one capital or owner equity, fourth one revenue, and fifth one is expenses. Total account consists of these 5 main accounts. Now in some transactions, financial transactions, and in double entry system, so we use the concept of debit and credits. Sometimes in these 5 accounts in a transaction one account is increase and another one account is decrease, or sometimes both accounts are increasing, sometimes both accounts are decreasing. So one by one we will discuss now the rules for assets, for liability, for capital and owner equity, for income and revenue, and for expenses. Sometimes when assets will be increased, so how we can record it, as a debit or as a credit, or when assets are decrease, so how we can record it, as a debit or credit. And similarly for liability, for equity, for revenue, and for expenses, there we have some rules, and those rules are called rules of the debit and credit. So first one, for assets account, that how we can treat the assets in the when the transaction taken place, a financial transaction, and in that financial transactions when assets increase, so how we can record it, and when assets are decreased, so how we can record it. So simple that when asset is increased, so that should be recorded in as a debit, and when asset is decreased, that should be recorded as a credit. How? Now I am giving you a simple common example. For example, we purchase furniture on cash for business. So furniture come to the business and cash out from the business. Why? When we purchase furniture, so furniture is increase and we pay the cash, so our cash is decreasing. Now furniture is also assets and cash is also assets. Furniture is increase, so increase in furniture means increase in an asset, and we paid the cash. So when we pay the cash, cash is decreasing, so decrease in cash means decrease in assets. So our one asset is increase and another one asset is decrease. So in general when we record this transaction, so increase in assets that will be recorded on the debit side and decrease in an assets that is recorded on the credit side. So our transactions will be what? Our transactions will be that furniture account debit to cash account credit. Look at, I will show this transaction in the Excel. On January 1st, purchase furniture on cash 5,000, means that we purchase furniture and we give 5,000 cash. So in this is journal book. Now in this book we will make recording, we will memorize this financial transaction. So in date column we will write January 1st. Now look at, furniture of the business is increase, furniture is assets, assets are increase, and increase in assets that is recorded as a debit, as we here according to the rules, increase in an asset account is recorded as a debit. So I should record now furniture on the debit side. Furniture account In the debit side, I will write $5,000. Clear? By 5,000, our furniture asset is increased. Now, this is double entry system. So, in double entry system, when one account is debit, so there must be another one account that we should record it as a credit. Means that in the double entry system, we have debit account, and the debit account with the same amount we have the credit account. So, we pay the cash, and cash is our asset. So, when we pay the cash, so our cash is decreased, and when cash is decreased, so decrease in cash, that is recorded as a credit. By 5,000, our cash is decreased. Why? We purchase furniture, so by 5,000 our furniture is increased, and we give the cash. So, when we give the cash, so cash is decrease, and decrease in cash means decrease in an asset. So, both are asset, one asset is increase, another one asset is decrease. So, increase in an asset, that is recorded as a debit DR, and decrease in an asset, that is recorded as a credit. This is the debit and credit rules for the assets. In case of assets, we will make the recording in this sense. Now, we have rules for the liability accounts. Dear students, as you know that liabilities are claim over the business. Business don't have ownership right. Business is liable to pay in future the liability amount. So, decrease in liability account is recorded as a debit, and increase in liability account is recorded as a credit. हमेशा गुरे जमंग सरा चे एसेट्स कला ज़्यादतीगी नो एसेट्स पर मुंगा डेबिट रिकॉर्ड को आउ चे कला जमंग सरा एसेट्स कम शी नो अगा बमुंगा क्रेडिट रिकॉर्ड को उस लाइबिलिटी चे कला इंक्रीज ही ज़्यादा शी नो अगा बमुंगा क्रेडिट रिकॉर्ड को आउ चे कला लाइबिलिटी कम शी munga pay kadala liability pardakht maklala no agaba munga as a debit record ko. So this is universal rules that increase in liability will always be recorded as a credit and decrease in liability is recorded as a debit. Now look at practically I will show this one, like look at on January 2 take business on January 2, dear student, business take loan from bank $20,000. Business the bank na the $20,000 loan wagas. Loan means qarza. So look at cash of the business is increased. Why? Bank give cash to business, but this cash is not the property of the business. Business is liable to pay back this loan in future. They will pay back this loan. So look at two things happens. How? One, the liability of the business is increased. Liability of the business is increased, and another side, the assets of the business is also increased. How? Look it, when we take loan from the bank, so we take loan in shape of what? We take loan in shape of cash. So cash come to our business. In business, cash is increased by 20,000. So cash is assets. Assets are increased, and according to the rules, increase in an asset that is recorded as a debit. So cash account is debited by how much? In debit side I will write, not in credit side. Credit side will remain empty. So cash is recorded as a debit by $20,000. Now this cash come from the bank, means we take loan, and loan is our liability. We pay back. Business will pay back this liability in future. Payables. Payables are generating, increasing, and all payables, I told you that all payables are liabilities. All كل شيء payables كياس وشياس liabilities قرضهاس وقرضها دا وقت آینده business pay پرداخته will pay by business. So look at, as bank قرضه گرفتیم $20,000. So cash increase شد به 20,000 cash. او cash چیست؟ asset است. asset ما increase شد، زیاد شد. So that's why ما record کردیم به debit side. Now ما که یک cash گرفتیم از بانک، نو یه قرضه است. business قرضدار شد. اول به business هیچ قرضه نبود، حالا 20,000 قرضدار شد. So liability is increase. So increase in liability, that is recorded as a credit, and those liability is called what? Loan payables account. So loan payable is increased by 20,000. So debit will remain what? Empty. And now in credit side we will record 20,000, and keep in mind that when a transaction taken place, so their debit side must be equals to the credit side. Yani look at this transaction shows that कि 20,000 cash पेशे मा आमद व 20,000 मा कर्जदार हम शुदिम. This is called the double entry system, double effect. Yani shell zara cash ma taraghi puli naqd و shell zara ma कर्जदार हम shum. Clear? व inja we will write narration, description, short, okay, what is this transaction? So loan from bank. Clear? And here purchase, cash purchase. Achha, now look at this is liability is increased, so we recorded on the credit side. Now when liability will be decrease, कलबल liability decrease की. So look at we says that on 5th January paid pay back loan of bank. How much? $20,000. यानी लोकेट माँ के as bank कर्जा गिरफ्तेम 20,000 on 2 January. आले इरा बा 5th January से रोज बाद वापस परदाख्तेम. वापस में कड़ल दा पैसी. जो वापस में कड़ले नो लाइबिलिटी में से शवला खत्म शवला कम शवला उस. Clear? Liability is decrease, and decrease in liability that is recorded as a debit. Our liability lemanum savar kade the loan payable account. So loan payable account is a debit by how much? By 20,000. Why? Because we paid the liability. So our liability is decrease. Now business have zero liability. Why? They pay the total $20,000. हाँ लाइबिलिटी के दादेम कम शुद Now, in shape of what I give the liability means that I give cash, that's why our liability is decrease. Ma cash dadim. So now with business 20,000 cash is decrease, and decrease in cash means decrease in an assets because cash is assets of the business. Yeah, liability is decrease of the business as well as asset is also decrease. So decrease in an asset, that is recorded as a credit. So cash account is decrease. How much? By $20,000, and I recorded on the credit side. So paid liability, paid loan, yeah, bank loan, paid bank loan. Clear or not clear? Ora, agar 20,000 چې ما کم قرض راغستی و په 2 جنوري باندې، نو 3 days بعد په 5 جنوري ما واپس بینک ته هغه 20,000 ورکړلې. اوس اوله مونږ د بینک څومره قرضداري وو؟ 20,000. اوس چې مونږ هغه ورکړلې بینک ته واپس، نو قرضه زمونږ څه شوله؟ زیرو شوله. قرضه ما کمه شوله په څومره؟ اوله 20,000 مونږ پے کړله. سو ډیکریز ان لایبیلیټي دیٹ از ریکارډډ in the debit side. So loan payables, I قرضې له ما نوم څه ورکړو؟ loan payables, but 20,000 is debit and I give cash. ما cash ورکړه ځکه مې قرضه کمه شوله. cash is assets of the business. زما د business سره اوس 20,000 cash کم شو. So decrease in cash, that is recorded as a credit. So look at, in January 2 transaction, liability is increasing, that's why we record those liability on the credit side. And now here in the 5th January transaction, our liability is decreasing. Here liability is decreasing, that's why I recorded as a decrease in liability is recorded on the debit side. DR means debit side. And here on 2nd January liability is increase, this 20,000. So increase in liability, that is recorded on the credit side. Both now look at this debit 20,000 and this credit 20,000 will cross each other. Ali each qarza چی شد؟ زیرو شد. Clear? cash the 20,000 debit بود، Ali but 20,000 رفت. Clear? So that's why nothing will left. ما 20,000 گرفته بودم، Ali 20,000 دادم. نه قرضه پیش ما مانده شد و نه پیش ما او قرض پیسه مانده شد. Clear this? I hope you will understand this one. Acha. So this was the second rule of the liability. This was the first rule of the asset. This is the second one rule of the liability. In here the furniture is assets. We buy the furniture. So furniture account is increase. But 5,000 furniture ما زیاد شد. That's why assets furniture چیاست؟ assets. assets के زیاد میشه debit record میشه. و ये assets के आमद मा cash दादेम. Clear? Cash is also assets. So cash पेश मा cash कम शोध. So that's why Ali one asset is increased. That's why that is recorded as a debit. And दिगा assets कम शोध मा pool दादेम cash दादेम. पैसा में चिन्नक दे वर्कले पैसे रा सरा कम शोले. So decrease in an asset, that is recorded as a credit. Clear now? Okay, now we will move towards the third rule, and third rule is owner equity or capital account. Third one account is owner equity or capital account. So you know that owner equity or capital means when owner make investment in the business, either in shape of cash or either in shape of goods, that is called capital account or owner equity. So when owner make investment, so capital or equity are increasing in business, and when owner withdraw from the business, so their capital or owner equity is decreasing. So decrease in capital account is recorded as a debit, and increase in capital account that is recorded as a credit. How now? Look it. Kalachi Malik the business na drawing zuki. यानी पैसे ते उबासी या ते गुड्स वाखली या ते एसेट्स वाखली और पर्सनल यूज़ करिए नॉट फॉर द बिजनेस यूज़ नो द अगर सरमाया गुजारी कमीगी कैपिटल कमीगी लाइक लोकेट ओनर $1,00,000 इन्वेस्टमेंट करे दी उस द $1,00,000 ने $10,000 वापस द बिजनेस न वागस्तले और अगर $10,000 पखपल यूज़ करले उसी कैपिटल सुमरा पाती शो 90,000 नो कैपिटल कम शो देगे 10,000 तमंगा वायु ड्राइंग्स और $1,00,000 इन्वेस्टमेंट कड़े सरमाया गुजारी कड़े दा और यो 50,000 नोरा इन्वेस्टमेंट को नो उस मुंगा सवायु ची द कैपिटल ऑफ द ओनर इज 1,50,000 why 1,00,000 was already investment of the owner and new investment owner make $50,000 further. So now total capital or total equity of the owner is 1,50,000. So equity is increased, and when equity is increased, so increase in equity or increase in capital that is recorded as a credit. How? Now look it. Look it, on January 10, owner invested cash $1,00,000 in business. यानी मालिक द $1,00,000 सरमाया गुजारी करत. So now in this transaction cash come to business. So cash of the business is increase and cash is what? That is our assets. And we in the rules says that increase in assets that is recorded as a debit. So cash account is debited by how much? By $1,00,000. Our cash account is debited by $1,00,000. Clear? Why? Cash is my assets, current asset. My current business current assets are increased, and increase in an asset that is recorded as a debit. But on another side, look at this cash come from where? The cash that comes in in double entry system ke bakha double effect zakorta we double entry system. So the cash the owner naragale the malik na, it means that malik sarmaya guzari kadeda. मालिक सरमाया गुजारी करत बशक्ल पूल नकद. सो ब $1,00,000 के सरमाया गुजारी कर द बिजनेस $1,00,000 पूल नकद ज़्यादा शुद व बिजनेस ची शुद बिजनेस $1,00,000 कर्जदार शुद as की as owner, and that is called capital or owner equity. Clear? So capital account is credited. Increase in owner equity or increase in capital that is recorded as a credit by $1,00,000 or owner investment. Ma inja navishta mein kane owner investment. This is called narration. Narration means short explanation. की चीज शुदा यानी means ये केश के आमदा as तरफ की आमदा as तरफ owner आमदा. Clear? No, cash of the business increase should wa sare business capital hum increase should. So increase in capital that is recorded as a credit, and increase in an asset that is recorded as a debit. Ha. Ali look it on January 15 5 रोज बाद चिकर owner withdraw. Now on 15 January owner withdraw cash $15,000 from business for personal use. Owner चिकर owner as business $15,000 वापस कशीत बा शख्सी यूज़. बखातरी कि उरा खुद यूज़ करना, not for the business use. Now this is called drawings. अच्छा, look it. So drawings account debit should. Drawings account debit should. Why? By how much? By $15,000. What drawings kias? This is called contra capital account. Contra capital account means that it negatively affect the capital account. And it means that drawings decrease the capital of the owner in the business. Drawings तक कम account वही decrease in capital या decrease in owner equity account या contra capital account. यानी drawings have account थे चे आगा capital the owner यानी सरमाया द ओनर पर बिजनेस के कमाई चे सुमरता ड्राइंग्स कड़ी पर आगे अमाउंट सरा नो यो लाख सरमाया वा 15,000 वापस वागस्तला नो उस सुमरश वाला 85,000 द capital patisha awala capital sumro 1 lakh. No capital decrease show, no decrease in capital, that is recorded as a debit, and drawings is contra capital account. Now cash, business cash that by owner, so cash of the business is decrease, and decrease in cash that is recorded as a credit. So cash account that is credited by $15,000. 15,000 cash home come should. So drawings of owner, owner withdraw cash from the business by 15,000. So now look it here, when capital is decrease, so decrease in capital that is recorded on the debit side. वो कैपिटल ची वक्त कम मेशा लुक इट या कि ओनर ड्राइंग्स में कना सो कैपिटल डिक्रीज मेशा या बिजनेस लॉस में कना सो लॉस विल बी सब्ट्रैक्टेड एज आई डिस्कस्ड इन द अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन इफेक्ट. So all expenses, losses will be deducted from the capital account, owner equity account. So owner equity is decreasing. Clear? So when owner equity is decreasing, so decrease in owner equity or capital that is recorded on the debit side. And when owner equity is increasing, means owner make investment, so capital is increasing. And if there is a profit, so profit is added with the income and profit is added with the capital account, and they are increasing the capital. So increase in capital that is recorded as a credit. Clear? So for today these three rules I think that is enough. You should memorize it, you should study it. If you have any questions, so you can ask in the WhatsApp group. Till then, Allah Hafiz. See you in the next class, inshallah.